So I'm reading the slides for scope management, and it does make more sense, and it shows that Miss Lisa definitely went through did put some really good effort to write the slide. She didn't just copy paste it, and it's more fun and less frustrating to read it because the book it just kills it. It just kills it. There's nothing I can say. Oh, it keeps talking. It's just too much. Anyway, so this is where this is showing that here I'm in the slide number 12, and I'll move on from here. Project charter, upgrade may affect servers, and scope statement. Preliminary scope statement is not even a scope statement. Servers, if additional servers are required to support this project, they must be compatible with existing servers. That is like a requirement though. A scope should be like what works needs to be done. This is a requirement. If it is more economical to enhance existing servers, um, a detailed description of enhancement must be submitted to the CIO for approval. Look at this. It's not saying do this or do that. It should be done. That should be done. And see current. This is not a scope statement, by the way. It's a preliminary thing. I mean, this should guide our scope statement. So there we go. Once again, see current service specification provided in attachment 6. The CEO must approve a detailed plan describing the servers and the location at least 2 weeks before the installation. So these are again some of the requirements of the scope itself. They should help us in doing the scope. So let's look at the scope now. What? How do I go down? Okay, go down. Servers. Okay, servers. This project will require purchasing 10 new servers to support web, network database, application, and printing functions. So it's saying what has to be done, and for what is also this justifies what needs to be done. 2 of each type of server will be purchased. So once again, 2 of each. It's like getting a little detail in what they say. 10 new servers. 2 of each of the servers will purchase dedicated to this project. Detailed description of the servers are provided in a product brochure in appendix 8, along with a plan describing where they will be located. So you see, let's look at the tense in the language they wrote it. They wrote in a third person, like it will be required, not like require this. This will require, the project will require purchasing 10 new servers. One thing I noticed here that it's not mentioning a date, but yeah, whatever. And then it just went a little bit to detail that a little bit of requirements that each server will be purchased dedicated to this project. The description of the server, things. Scope planning and scope statement. Scope statement is a document used to develop and confirm a common understanding of the project scope. Yes, it is to mention. It is to develop a common understanding of the scope for both the parties, the workers, the clients, and at the same time the one who are financing it. So it should include distribution. Like for example, we are buying 10 servers for what? For improving the web and network and application, all the thing. Like if we just write 10 new servers has to be purchased, and then we don't say anything. It doesn't convince. It doesn't. Once again, as we said, it has to have a good understanding. So the people who are not technical should also understand why this scope is done. So a brief description of the project's product. What has to be the outcome of it. Remember, a product is deliverable. It's not a scope. Scope is the thing that needs to be done to get the deliverable. A summary of all project deliverables. A summary of project deliverables. I was having the understanding that product and the deliverables are pretty much the same thing, but I don't know what's. She just confused me again. Moving on, a statement of what determines project success. Okay, sometimes it can be just a one-liner that the project has to be done by this. For example, December it didn't work, but January did work, but the project just failed because the success criteria was that it should be working by December. So it could be just a I saw it somewhere. Alright, so scope boundary. Need to have a clearly defined boundary with objective that could be achieved inside the boundary. So it has to have a boundary with objective. Okay, moving on, let's see. Some of the projects included there has to be two parts. One is included, one is not included, one is not resolved. Like we don't know about this. So first draft contains objectives, quality requirements, constraints, benefits, outcomes, etc. First draft often contains objectives of for stakeholders. For example, stakeholders have its objective this. We are responsible for the future projects. This in future we will do this, but at this moment, at this point, we will not do this. Related projects, this can happen, but yeah, this project is not doing the system boundary. Yeah, so this it's not included. It did relate to me. Where before any project starts, we should mention what are the future projects. When I say that I'm making a quadcopter, our future plan is actually to do navigation, whereas we should be clearly saying that in this project we are just getting it to fly and balance itself. In the future, we'll get it to move from one point to another point and do proper navigation. So here in the non-included part, we should mention the future part of it, and the related part that it might do some it might deliver some pizza. Although in this project we are trying to aim to deliver give some emergency assistance. In the future we might do some delivery of this thing. We want to do some traffic control, but which are not included in this project, so we have to mention these things in the scope boundary. And what the stakeholder might look for. We need to improve the country's economy. Bro, we are not actually improving the country's economy. What we are just doing is that, and so that should be also included, not included. But where is it included? We should definitely tell that these are the objectives, that we have to get some emergency assistance. It should be really fast and cool. It should be done with this time, and it should be cheap. It should be faster. It should be done with this deadline. It should definitely have another boundary or an obstacle of getting in a traffic jam. That's the benefits. The outcome should be that a quadcopter with some video phone and audio recording streaming back to back can be telecommunicated. So these are all included in the project scope. It's not resolved. I don't know what's that. Scope management constraints. Don't confuse constraints with objectives. To implement the system by July 1st is a constraint, not an objective. Awesome. So the system's objective could be that I'm giving emergency assistance via air. And a constraint would be that I have to deliver it by end of the semester, which could be September. So that's a constraint, but not an objective. An objective is that that thing. So predictable constraints include deadlines and time frames. Budget, it has to be done within this time. We cannot spend more than 2,000 dirham. It has to be resources that we have to do it online. We can do it online. That's not a constraint, but technology. Yeah, we have to do it with TCP/IP protocols. We don't have any more cooler protocols. We're not gonna get some HD cameras like GoPro thingy. We have to do it with some Android phones. So yeah, this is actually technically with that you can do anything which inside given that you're doing with Android phone or Raspberry Pi, all this kind of thing. So yeah, that's the thing. So scope boundary, if it is written down, so write it down. So the scope boundary has to be included that we're not going to navigate it, but we're just going to fly. So this is part of this. It's a boundary. We're not doing it, and we are doing this. Remember, if it isn't specifically excluded, the client will think it is included. The teacher definitely got to think that, okay, I was expecting it to fly from one point to why didn't do that. So yes, it should have been clearly mentioned in the scope. If it isn't specifically included, the project manager will assume is excluded. Right, and on the side of project manager, if before project manager comes in contact with the document, and he doesn't see that it's a function like it has to balance. Just flying, it has to balance. Is part of the project. My project manager will be thinking, okay, what? Let me just code it and let it fly. Probably kill people, but that's not part of my business. No, we have to mention that it has to be safe and it should balance itself. So yes, from both the side, the client part and the manager part has to be. The boundary is pretty much up. At least obviously disagreement over the project scope. Yes, so if you don't write the scope boundary, there will be a disagreement regarding the scope. No, this was part of it. No, this was not part of it. No, I thought this was part of it. So there's a lot of rubbish just keeps happening. Word breaker structure is this is important. You have an objective now. You want to know that this thing has to be done. Now when we know that these are the requirements that needs to be done, we have to now find out how we're going to do that in bigger chunks, and then we're going to break it down into smaller chunks. So it is a deliverable oriented grouping. So we have like There are a lot of workstations, like I said, 20 of them, and we probably can group it into 5 categories. That really helps, makes it readable and it's easy to manage. The works involved in the project defines the total. So we can categorize them in terms of phases, in terms of areas, in terms of project aspect like hardware, software. There's a lot of ways. It is a foundation document that provides the basis for planning and managing projects, schedules, costs, resources, and changes. It provides the basis for planning and managing project schedule, costs. It's a foundation document that provides the basis for planning and managing project schedules, cost, resource, and change. Of course, planning, managing project schedules. Yes, when you have that phases written down, so then we can tell that, okay, no, we will do this by this date, and then we won't that date. Even if you don't do it levels or phases, we can do it with in terms of areas. So we can say that, okay, software, we do this in this part of them, then we will the hardware, and the software and hardware goes together hand by hand. So it does help us do the planning, scheduling, and then we spend this much amount, in this chunk, in this website, in this page we will do this, and we have to spend $7 plugin. So yeah, it does help in costs, and it does help in resource management. Okay, we will need to get a user interface designer to design this, the splash page, and then the rest of them can be done easily. So for eye-catching banner, we need to hire a designer or give it a contracted designer. We need to, for the second page, we need a real awesome plugin to do the database management. For that we have to spend $7. So once again, this resources thing is also is done through with the help of the work structure and changes. So later on when we're doing the work, and we will have to say, down the lane we will have to change that thing, because from here we can see that it's not going to happen. We have to change a little bit of here and there. We have to move the time to from here to there. We'll have to move part 2 to maybe. So yeah, the composition is subdividing project deliverables into small pieces. Yes, obviously, you can start by saying, okay, we have the hardware and software aspect of the whole project, and then we decompose it. Okay, this is hardware, or we have to get it initiated and executed. Again, then initiated, we do initiated here, there. The planning is, so the work package is a task at the lowest level of work. The task at the lowest level of work breakdown structure. Lowest means like not higher level, or lowest, the most detailed way. So you're gonna want to think is that this is done in terms of aspects like the design, and the site design, the whole site design, and the home page design, marketing pages, sale pages. So yeah, they have made it into 4 important areas of the internet: website design, the home page design. Although home page design is supposed to be in the freaking whole website design, but yeah. Interesting. Oh, okay. Website design is probably not. No, it is. Marketing pages. Yeah, sales pages. This is done in terms of levels. Level 1, 2, 3. Concept. Define requirements. Define specific. So in concept, okay. So. It's done in terms of concept, design, development, rollout, support. In concept, requirement, evaluate the current requirements. Okay, we need this. This is missing. Define requirements. Okay, write it down properly. What is missing? Like what is wrong with the current system, and then write it down that, okay, these are needed, and then specific functionality for this requirement. We need this, that, and define risk management. Okay, this could not be probably possible. So for that, we need to do another approach. A plan. Okay, now we're gonna get this functionality by this date. Plan. Work with structure. Yeah, then we do the brief web development team. Then everything has to be told to the developing team, and then in the requirements, how do you do the requirements? We look at who are the users who are using it, the clients, and all these things. Then define contents requirements, like what is the content that we need to do. That is part of the user can't really say that. User requirements is actually about this kind of thing. So the system requirements, right? So how fast, or how the hardware speed, software speed, the network, the spaces, so on. So okay, I'll discuss more in the next video. I just have, I think, 20, 25 or 15 slides more. Thank you.